In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the most popular games of 2019 and explain why they're absolute shit. Consider this video to be satire, and don't take it too seriously if I shit on one of your favorite games. The state of video games right now fucking sucks. All of the games that were popular years before have died, and nothing has arisen to replace them. Games like League of Legends and CSGO are on the decline, while games like WoW and Call of Duty have been butchered and left to rot by their developers. Let's start off by talking about a game that most people will have played, World of Warcraft. Nobody plays it, and everyone is just waiting for the re-release of its classic version from 14 years ago. That's right, 14 years of constant work, engine improvements, and graphical updates, but Blizzard still can't figure out how to get anywhere close to something they made 14 years ago. It seemed like Blizzard was finally remembering how to make a good game again, but just before the release of BFA, all the devs came down with a severe case of amnesia and forgot why people played their game again. All of the good ideas from Legion were taken out of the game, and as a special bonus, they even ruined the story, which was the only thing keeping the game going in dark times. That and Asmongold, who has now resorted to playing games like Dark Souls and getting over it, because the state of World of Warcraft was just making him rage too much. All of the content in BFA is now extremely time-gated to try to slow down your clicking of the unsubscribe button. But don't worry, soon Classic will come out and everyone will be happy again. Until they somehow manage to fuck that up too, and trust me, there's a good fucking chance they will. Speaking of Blizzard's incompetence, have you read about Diablo or Heroes of the Storm lately? Blizzard is so in touch with their community that after 7 years of Diablo 3, they decided to try to release the next installment of the game as a mobile game.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Great job guys, I'm sure this one will pan out well. Blizzard also managed to let down the 3 remaining players of Heroes of the Storm by cancelling its Pro League. Pro players, casters, and other event employees found out that they were out of a job via news articles because Blizzard couldn't even crush people's dreams right. Unfortunately, the BFA team which specialized in this department was unavailable to help at the time. Now let's talk about Overwatch. When people talk about Overwatch, it's usually preceded by an omega lol in the Twitch chat because it's considered to be a joke of a game. Most people stop playing Overwatch because if you want to win, you have to play tanks and healers, and it's fucking boring. Don't even consider trying to play DPS, or the 4 other DPS on your team will immediately flame you.
You dumb fuck!
That's why you break the. That's why you break the shield, you fucking retard.
You have no mother, you have no father, your dog is dead, your fucking wife left you, you have nothing!
Now I'm not speaking for everyone when I say the other roles are boring, because some people enjoy the complex mechanics of the other roles. For example, with Mercy, you get to hold left click the entire game, and once in a while, you even get to right click. If you have one in your game, there's a 70% chance that person is female. No matter how or where you die, even if you're playing at the front line, you can always blame your team for not protecting their supports. And if someone flames you, your party of White Knights is standing guard, ready to protect thy lady.
Thinking maybe Anna could go Mercy?
No.
There's no point, they're just trading wins, just report them.
Shut the fuck up.
No, you shut the fuck up. Say shut the fuck up again, I dare you. You're gonna be in big trouble if you say it again.
Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna annoy me to death?
That's it. I'm gonna call your mother now. I'm calling your mother. I'm gonna tell her.
Tanks like Reinhardt have some pretty cool moves too, but you have to be careful about using them. If you drop your shield to use those abilities for a period of more than 1 second, your team will report you for trolling and advise you to end your own life. Even in games where you fill the necessary roles, you play a lottery as to how many people will insta-log DPS. It's usually about 3 people, but it can always be more or less. They almost always pick Hanzo, Ashe, and Widowmaker, but the real prize is that when everyone refuses to switch, you get to observe a highly intelligent discussion in voice chat as to why everyone else is the problem except the DPS. If you tell these beacons of intelligence that you're doing better than all 4 of them with Winston and have gold DPS, they will out-intelligence you by telling you that you didn't do your job and you were the reason the team lost. Rinse and repeat this process for 5 or so more games, and now you know why nobody plays Overwatch anymore. Let's take a break from Blizzard for a second. It's time to talk about another titan of the gaming industry, EA Games. At the time I'm recording this video, they're worth over $26 billion on the stock market. You would think a company worth that much could actually produce a slightly decent game, right? Well, it actually seems that they're still trying to figure that one out. Actually, that's a lie. They're not trying to make a good game at all. They're actually spending most of their money hiring teams of gambling psychologists to figure out how to sell more microtransactions. It honestly amazes me that people still buy into EA shit. They take the same game, change the year and picture on the title. Sometimes they even update the team rosters to those of the year, and voila, you have the annual release of insert sports game name here. FIFA, Madden, NHL, UFC, NBA. Your hard-spent microtransactions from the previous year building your ultimate team are cleared so that you can enjoy the pride and accomplishment of buying and opening your packs all over again. Add some special additions to the annual release to milk your customers even more, and boom, you have EA's formula to squeeze every penny out of every customer they can. That is, until their house is foreclosed due to their piles of unpaid credit card debt, or mommy takes her credit card back. It's a malicious practice that preys on children and those prone to gambling addictions. But as long as the profit machines are turning, they won't give a fuck. Video game gambling has become a serious problem. You can read about where those prone to it will spend their entire paychecks on shitty microtransactions. The country of Belgium actually made it illegal to sell loot boxes in video games. EA fought this so vehemently they poured more effort into fighting it than they did developing their last 7 FIFA games combined. But ultimately they lost, and were required by law to take out their microtransactions in Belgium. More important though than ruining thousands of families' lives, EA ruined the Star Wars video game franchise. When Disney acquired Star Wars, they sold EA the sole rights to produce Star Wars video games. Their first attempt at making a Star Wars game failed harder than that time Ted Cruz tried to pass liking porn tweets as a mistake by an employee. EA acknowledged their mistakes and said the next game would be much better. But the second time around, they caused a huge internet controversy because of the obscene amount of time it took to unlock your favorite characters, which could easily be sped up with microtransactions, coincidentally. In response to the backlash, they created the infamous Pride and Accomplishment post, which earned the award of the most downvoted comment to ever be posted on Reddit. We're still waiting to hear about any potential third Star Wars game, but I'm sure they'll be pushing for pre-orders again as soon as they announce it. Don't worry guys, I'm sure they'll get it right this time. PUBG, also known as BugG, is an early access game that disguises itself as a fully finished product. It's been almost 2 years since its initial early access release, and the devs still haven't added most of the things they promised when they first sold you the game, like modding and a consistent frame rate. It is said that some quantum computers can now run the game at 60 FPS. However, top physicists say that trying to run PUBG at 144 FPS will likely not be available this millennia. Last year, PUBG played the greatest prank on Xbox players by offering a fully functional version of the game at Christmas. But as it turns out, this was actually a pre-order, as the devs couldn't figure out how to get the game to work for another 6 months. Features like rendering and connecting to the servers had yet to be developed at the time of release. Joey Salads regards the prank as one of the most legendary pranks of all time, next to EA pranking the entire Star Wars fanbase by promising them a good game. It was also during this time that Epic Games' newly released Battle Royale game Fortnite was exploding in popularity. PUBG didn't like that another company was making a Battle Royale, and publicly declared that they would take legal action against Epic Games for violating their IP. This was actually another prank, as the legal team at PUBG wouldn't learn anything about copyright law until class started next semester. What they had yet to learn was that game modes like Team Deathmatch and Battle Royale couldn't be copyrighted. The developer of PUBG didn't even come up with the idea himself. He took it from a Japanese movie called Battle Royale, and even that movie was adapted from a book. PlayerUnknown says he expects to easily win this battle in court once his lawyers graduate law school in 2020. Good luck, Brendan. They're expected to be suing the creator of the Hunger Games shortly afterwards. This decision to publicly call out Fortnite was regarded as stupid, and PUBG Corp was just being sore losers. After seeing how successful Epic Games was doing with their battle passes, PUBG decided to copy this idea for themselves, completely forgetting their stance on copying other video games. Being the titan of the industry that PUBG is, they decided it would be better to create challenges like drive 500 kilometers with a dune buggy. Considering peak buggy speeds were 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, players flocked to Reddit to share their enthusiasm of driving a car and not playing the main game for up to 6 hours straight. I look forward to seeing more of the great decisions PUBG will bring to us in the future. Let's take a break and talk about something more positive. Old School RuneScape. Old School RuneScape is one of the most popular online video games right now, and it continues to grow to this day. If you're watching this video, you probably already know about the game, so I'll keep it short. Old school RuneScape remains on the top because it offers challenges to players that they are driven to accomplish. That's the core essence of the game right there. If you want to quest to unlock better armor, you can quest. If you want to level your skills to fight bosses or mine a better rock that you can sell to other players, you can do that. You're rewarded for the effort you put into the game, and it can't be bought with money. The game is continuously updated, and every major update must pass a poll so that the game goes in the direction the community wants. If it was on Steam right now, it would be sitting somewhere in the 4th most active spot. In an era where computers are the most advanced and powerful that they have ever been in history, games that look like this are more fun than games that look like this. The main game took such a shit direction, it barely has 1/5 of the active players old school RuneScape does, and it has more microtransactions than a freshly released Chinese mobile game. Say the word MTX around an RS3 player, and there's a 50% chance they'll have a stroke on the spot. League of Legends, also known as L, remains one of the top played MOBAs and top streamed games on Twitch. I'm pretty sure everyone has played League at some point, but it seems like it's become significantly less popular in North America. A lot of the more streams on the front page for League are in Korea now that they were before. Of the friends I had from high school to work to college, everybody played League. But now looking at my inactive friends list is just as depressing as looking at my old Xbox 360 friends list. It's fucking graveyard. The complaints about the game have remained the same for years. It's hard to get into a game where every 2 weeks, the monkeys on the balance team roll the dice, and your favorite champions are at risk of being nerfed, buffed, or reworked for no reason. This can happen infinitely every 2 weeks until Riot forgets about your champion completely. On top of this bi-weekly nerf cycle, once a year they flip the game completely upside down and break everything that was established in previous years with the new season. The new systems always make no sense, and there's always 1 or 2 masteries that just completely break the game and you have to use on every champion. It usually takes Riot months to figure out how to correctly balance the mastery pages, but at this point it's just too late. Most of my friends stopped being bothered with League years ago. You also have the new champions that come out that are obscenely overpowered and don't get nerfed for months. Carry potential has been thrown out the fucking window, where before if you had a strong lead and you knew the game was on your shoulders, but now you can get 1v1 by an 0-2 Pyke who smashes his face on the keyboard the right way. League will always hold a special place in the hearts of many, but now most look at it in ridicule due to how many times Riot Games has screwed their fans over. And it doesn't seem like it's going to go away anytime soon, but for years, seems like it's just going to shrink and slowly wither. I'm going to quickly touch on Call of Duty here, but there's not much more I can say that hasn't been said 1,000 times before. Activision sold out to release an annual game with seasons passes, DLCs, microtransactions, and special editions. Enough schmucks buy it every year that they don't bother to change the formula. Each year, the series releases a shittier game than the last, but somehow it still manages to stay afloat, usually by selling pre-orders with their AAA quality marketing. It's just too bad they can't make a AAA quality game too. Even past employees like Dr. Disrespect joke about how recycled the game engine is, as it's practically untouched from how it was 10 years ago. They swap out the weapons, they make some new maps, maybe update the graphics a little bit, and there you have it, a new Call of Duty for the year. See you next year, schmucks. The most recent installment of the series, Black Ops 4, released on PC to dog shit reviews, and has a 3.5 score on Metacritic. And just like other games, it made a shitty attempt at trying to grow a little by making a battle royale mode just like everybody else was doing. At this point, Activision is just milking Call of Duty for all it's worth, as it costs them very little to produce a new COD game. Most of the money just gets spent on marketing. When the new COD is inevitably announced later this year, don't fall for the hype when everyone gets excited over it. And then you can laugh as they stop playing it a month after release, and they dropped $130 on their special edition and $60 on their season's pass. Well, I think I've touched on a large amount of the games that remain somewhat relevant today. I haven't talked about a lot of single player games because most of them aren't games you can sink thousands of hours to, like the others that I've mentioned. Companies like From Software that make Dark Souls and the upcoming game Sekiro continue to innovate and define new RPGs, but they're few and far between, and like I said, you can only play them for so long. Even games like Red Dead Redemption can only be played through once or twice before they get boring. Have a look at this screenshot of the front page of Twitch from January 2019. Even though I've been making jokes, I'm trying to communicate on a deeper level that the games industry is in serious trouble. And it's been heading this way for years. Profit is now focused over quality, and those with the capability to make something good don't, because they can make more money making something shit. And as long as consumers keep sinking their money into this microtransaction garbage pit, they have no reason to change what they're doing. And new games will just be money pits, trying to squeeze any dollar they can from you. I don't know what the solution is, and I don't have any answers. So I guess for now, I'll just keep playing my old faithful RuneScape until something better comes along. At this rate, I think it could be a while. Thanks for watching.